What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. We have another
top 5 list for you here.
Yeah, thanks for joining me today in this video. Really excited to talk about this one. This one's going to be quite a fun one. Obviously, genres kind of cross over into each other, so there might be films that you might say to yourselves,
well, where is this movie? And where's this one? They should be in the list.
This is obviously my list. These are my opinions. Make sure to put down your list down below. Without further ado, this video is my top 5 favourite science fiction films of all time. Let's get into this one. Coming in at number 5 is Total Recall. This is my favourite Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. Like my favourite one. Get your ass to Mars. Do it. Yeah, it's so good. It's a great action sci-fi movie with tons of action, a really cool memory implant plot that kind of permeates through the whole film. Like, was it all real, or was it just a memory given to Quaid as he requested by the recall to be this kind of undercover agent to get the brunette girl in the film? Like, is it all fabricated, or is it actually reality? I want to think it's real because I like the movie, and I think it'd be cooler if it was all real. It sucks, you know, Shannon Stone and his wife just getting shot in the head like, consider it a divorce. No, it's a divorce, you idiot. Nah, Shannon Stone is a divorce. But yeah, yeah, I think it's great. Like, I'd like to think it's real. Like, what I love about that though, it makes the ending ambiguous, you know, and it's a very much kind of a James Bond kind of story as well. It just makes it more entertaining if it was real, in my opinion. That's me. That's where I see it. I want it to be real. It has some cool comedy moments as well, like the 2 weeks lady. Man, that is like a highlight moment for me. Love that. Love it. It's awesome. The hologram scene is really funny as well. Do you think this is the real Quaid? It is. It's so good. Oh man, this film's got so many quotable moments as well. Like, for me, this is the first time where I heard Arnold Schwarzenegger go, nah, 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 with his eyeballs popping out when he falls and smashes his fucking visor, and he's like suffocating in the Mars air. It's full of one-liners by Arnold Schwarzenegger. The dialogue is awesome. It's super cheesy, but that's what I fucking want from an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. It's just fun, man. It's just so much fun. Yeah, it just makes me enjoy the film even more, and I can watch it again and again and not be bored. So yeah, that's my number 5. Come on, Go Hagen, give these people air. Coming in at number 4. Some people might be surprised this isn't higher on my list, but number 4 is Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back. Yeah, this is probably the greatest sequel ever made, bang up there with a few in that pantheon of like greatest sequels. That could be a list. That could be another list I could make. Greatest sequels, top 5 greatest sequels. Look out for that, maybe. Don't know. Think about it. But yeah, Empire just takes everything we love from the original Star Wars movie and kind of expands on everything. Characters, lore, the Force, Yoda, all these things that were kind of hinted at in the first film. They really add to it. It's probably one of the best looking films ever made. It's got, you know, it's got some great locations. Set designs is beautiful. The sound design, especially when it comes to Star Wars, the sound design has become just iconic nowadays, you know. And everything in between, really, like Luke's quest to become a Jedi is compelling, completely compelling, you know, on Dagobah. And Yoda is a weird one. Yoda for me he's like one of the rare moments of comedic relief in the film. Like, obviously, you're meant to take Luke's training seriously because, like, he's got to train and become a Jedi. But, like, Yoda is so cynical through the whole fucking movie, and I just think it's funny. Yeah, the rest of the film as well is just much darker and menacing than ever compared to the first Star Wars film. Which I love. I love that the fact it's darker. 100% it's got the greatest movie villain ever in Darth Vader, and obviously that twist as well. Some would argue it's the greatest twist in cinema history. I couldn't really argue with that, really. I would say what the twist is, but people get pissed off with spoilers, even though it's a spoiler from, like, 40-year-old movie. I won't say what it is. Everyone knows. If you've seen Star Wars Emperor Strikes Back, you know the twist. And it's just like, what is going on? And it's just beautiful watching videos on YouTube of people losing their minds at that twist, that scene in particular. And it's always great to see that. And, if I ever have children of my own, I want to sit them down and I want to be like, we're watching Star Wars, son, and it's like, or daughter, whatever, and I just want to see them just lose their shit when it gets to that twist scene, Emperor Strikes Back. The best film in cinema's greatest trilogy, in my opinion. Coming in at number 3 is Planet of the Apes from 1968, the original Planet of the Apes. Now, I saw this film around 5 or 6 years ago. I can't remember precisely, but I know it was after Rise of the Planet of the Apes came out, and it was before Dawn of the Planet of the Apes came out. I believe around that kind of time period. So it's relatively fresh in my mind. This is still the best of the franchise, in my opinion, the 1968 original. It just kicks all sorts of arse in terms of just a great adventure science fiction movie. I think it's just Charleston Heston is great in it. I just think his story of landing on this weird planet and finding himself on a planet that is kind of like is ruled by a civilized society of walking, talking apes, and watching him kind of find a way to escape their captivity, and kind of like how they're so mind blown that he's a human that can talk, because all the humans on this planet can't talk. And they're kind of the ape slaves. I just think that's really cool. This is an excellent film with fantastic acting by Charleston Heston, like I said, and the rest of the cast are really good. The people that are in the ape makeup, fucking give them a medal, man. Like, it must be really difficult to emote and act with that kind of practical makeup on, but they kick ass in this movie. Definitely the best in the franchise, like I said, and it's just like one of the best sci-fi films around. If you haven't seen this original film, what are you doing? Turn this video off and go and watch it. It's fantastic. It's a film that I can recommend to everyone. Everybody should experience this movie. It's fantastic. Yeah, Planet of the Apes is my number 3. Fantastic movie. Down to my last 2. My number 2 for favourite science fiction film of all time is Ridley Scott's Alien. I've already spoke about this at length, so let's just keep this one short, I suppose. Yeah, this is straight up. This is a horror sci-fi masterpiece, in my opinion. It's claustrophobic, it's tense, it's masterfully directed by Ridley Scott. He's the kind of guy that we could only get a film like this by Ridley Scott, in my opinion. The Xenomorph is the most terrifying monster in movie history. No matter how you slice it, this film is a perfect science fiction retro future horror movie, and everyone should go and see Alien if you haven't seen it before. It's incredible. My number 1 is a contentious one, because I wasn't sure whether I should put it on the list, but then I realised it completely sits within the criteria of science fiction. It is 100% a story of science fiction with some real life horror kind of involved with its kind of creation as well. So this might surprise people, but my favourite science fiction film of all time is Godzilla 1954. This happens to be my favourite film of all time, no matter what genre. It's my favourite film ever. As a film, it's kind of birthed as a metaphor for the terror unleashed by the atomic bomb on Japan during World War II. Godzilla is a force of nature in this film, what I call apocalyptic dread throughout the movie. Now, this original film it's not like the 70s decade of Godzilla films, but it became a bit more kind of kid-friendly and a bit more goofy. This film is dark and bleak and just horrific in its depiction of just suffering and melancholy. When it comes to special effects, the suitmation in this is amazing, and I think it's an underappreciated art form, because these actors that have got to act in these suits, they go through hell acting out these scenes in these Godzilla suits, and I really respect the art form, because it is an art form in my opinion. The effects overall for the time are outstanding. The framing of shots are ingenious. This film has got some great shots that show impeccable eye for framing a film. Like, it's just fucking incredibly good, especially for the time. The characters as well are very likable. You come to really care for them as well, especially the protagonists in Mimiko and Dr. Serizawa. You really care about, you know, how they deal with Godzilla's rampage and stuff like that. It's just really nice, really cool character development, and characters in general are just super likable. Speaking of Godzilla's rampage, it affects everyone in this movie. This film doesn't kind of like just focus on the main characters. It kind of shows you how Godzilla's kind of destruction is affecting the everyday person in this movie. You know, families are destroyed, children are left parentless. The film has an incredible sense of melancholy and sadness that sweeps throughout the whole film, and it really does kind of show you the suffering that everyone in this film is feeling, not just the main characters, like I said, and it's just so good. What adds to that in particular is the film's soundtrack. The soundtrack is impeccable in this movie, and it gives it this atmosphere. It's terrifying. It's just dread. Like, you know Godzilla is coming when this theme plays. Yeah, there's some scenes are horrific in this film. For example, there's a scene in particular where a woman is huddled up against a building, and she is there with her 2 children, and she is telling her children that it's okay, they'll see their father soon. She's accepting death at this point, and she's saying that her children will see their father soon, who I presume is already dead. That is just horrifically depressing. That kind of feeling kind of echoes through the whole movie. That's the tone you get throughout this film. You're not rooting for Godzilla in this film. You're experiencing the suffering that he is bringing, and it's horrific. I love this movie so much, guys. It's uncompromising in its storytelling and creative in its effects. If you haven't seen it, it comes highly recommended from me. But then again, it is my favourite film of all time. It's my favourite science fiction film of all time. I highly recommend everyone to go and see it, just to see where Godzilla started, because a lot of people still believe that Godzilla is this goofy, silly cartoon character. If you saw this first movie, I don't think you'd be thinking this at all. That's my list, guys. If you like what you see here, hit that like button. It really helps out. If you want to see more from me on this channel, you know, maybe consider hitting that subscribe button. That means a lot to me. If you don't like this video and think I'm rubbish, the dislike button has always been there. Hit that if you like. With that being said, guys, thanks for watching. I've been Jason, and I'm out.